Welcome to DFG Gaming. This is Balae, and welcome to our June 2016 Humble Monthly Review. For those of you new to this series, basically the Humble Monthly subscription service provides you with anywhere from 7 to 9 games that I can tell so far, and it only costs $12. They provide it once a month, usually it's the first Friday of every month, and the way this review series is going to work is we'll go through the games that I acquired from this month's bundle. We'll assess kind of just the general what games are, how much do they cost, that kind of thing. And then for the third part of the video, we'll do a comparison to see how much money was saved, how much do the games cost if you just buy them by themselves, and also compare the quality of the games. So we all know that a bad game is a bad game. Even if it's a cheap game, it's still bad. So we want to make sure that the quality of the games are up to par with the service. And basically I'm just going to compare, is it a solid game? Compare some things about it, give it a rating, just to give you an idea how the games stack up quality-wise. I'll also give you my opinions. Were they fun? Were they not fun? But that's just my opinion. You may differ. That's everybody. Everybody has different opinions. So feel free to check them out. Maybe you like some of these games. Maybe instead of the bundle, you just want to pick up the game itself. If not, feel free to pick up the bundle. Let me know what you think. With that said, let's kick the tires and light the fires. Let's go ahead and get to the games. Hope you guys enjoy. The first game on our list is Rocket League. The best way I can describe this game is if you take a demolition derby, you mix in some rocket-powered cars, and then you set all of that to the rules of soccer. You would have Rocket League. This game's been out for about a year now. So far, it's been pretty popular from what I can gather, and from what time I've been playing it, it is proven to be insanely fun. The game, like you said, is set to soccer rules and can host multiple players on each team, and the cars are customizable themselves. As you level up, you can get different types of cars, different add-ons, different paints to make the car look exactly like you want it to. This game is also Steam controller compatible and is probably the preferred method of playing it.
Nice.
The second game on our list is The Forest. It's a sandbox survival horror game. Think Minecraft, only with cannibals. In this game, you're a survivor of a plane crash, and basically you have to build a shelter, find water, find food, hunt animals, while fending off cannibals and mutants and trying to stay alive while completing various quests, the main one being to find Timmy, your son. This game has been in early access now for almost 2 years. It is still actively being worked on, as best I can tell, which I think the updates are coming about once every week or so. So it's still being developed, still being worked on. It is a lot of fun and has made this month's bundle well worth the money. They seem to be standoffish. The third game in this month's bundle is Planetary Annihilation Titans. This game is a real-time strategy, or RTS, that spans basically a solar system. Your battles can take place across multiple planets with multiple enemies. The game also works that in where your units are insanely powerful sometimes with the Titans. You have planet-destroying weapons. You can even attach a rocket to a planet and ram it into another planet to destroy it. This game also is the traditional RTS way of you gather resources, build an army, take out your enemies, that kind of thing. It does support multiplayer and has been okay game. It is more the actions per minute type RTS than anything else.
Conquered.
The The fourth game in our bundle is Dungeon of the Endless. This game is a dungeon crawler that actually has completely randomly generated levels. There are many levels that can be played for different spaceships, different difficulties, with a multitude of characters that can be picked. I think there's something like 12 to 15 characters that you can unlock and select from that have different stats. Some can run faster, some can shoot faster, that kind of thing. It does support up to 4 players at any given time, and the game really emphasizes teamwork very heavily. The game itself is kind of hard in my experience, but will still be enjoyable with multiple people, I believe. The t-shirt added to your inventory.
There you go, you should be able to wear that.
There we go. The fifth game on the bundle is Steredenn, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that terribly. This game is a side-scrolling space shooter that has a really kick-ass soundtrack. The game features, basically you just have the one ship, but you can upgrade weapons randomly as you get power-ups. And it has a multitude of weapons, anything from lightsabers, swords, jaws, autocannons, rockets, homing missiles, you name it, it's probably got it to throw it out there except for the kitchen sink. The game itself has many levels that you play through with multiple foes that create quite the challenging game, and this one I enjoyed a good amount. The sixth game on our list is Wasted. This game is an open world FPS style exploration game, adventure game I guess you could say, that is kind of a cartoony version of the Fallout world. You basically have coolers that would be vaults, and your whole goal is to get into them, find the mutational drink that will sate your thirst. And basically, once you enter one of these coolers, you can't leave until you either find the drink and drink it, or you die. So you're going to be faced against raiders, other people like yourself in an open world scenario, just like Fallout. The seventh game in our bundle is Cat Girl Without Salad. This game is a side-scrolling shooter of a type that can have a certain charm to it to a certain audience. This game is the Humble Original for the month. Keep in mind that the Humble Originals are games that developers don't feel are good enough to sell really. So Humble Monthly worked out some kind of deal where they will get these titles and include each one, like include one a month with every bundle. And sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're better or worse, just depends on what you're looking for. But you have to keep that in mind when you look at them. You can't expect a AAA title for this. The game itself is full of a certain type of humor. It's not for me, but it might be for some people.
Ew! Health food! That is not funktasmical! He also hates shirts.
The eighth and last game in this month's bundle is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. This game was very interesting. To give you a good idea of what it is a multiplayer game. You cannot really play it single player, and basically requires at least 2 people. One will be basically defusing a bomb. The other will have the manual explaining how to defuse the bomb. Neither one can see what the other one is doing. You just have to be able to verbally communicate and discuss amongst yourselves what one is seeing and what the manual says. And then you have a certain limit that you have to defuse each bomb on. I played this game with my girlfriend. It was insanely fun for all people involved. It is challenging, but I would highly recommend giving it a shot. So now that you've kind of been introduced to the games that I got in this month's bundle, let's take a look at the price and value of the bundle and the quality and all that I talked about that we'll take a look at. So as you can see from what's on the chalkboard here, the price value of this bundle as a whole, if you bought the games individually, is $127.93. Since I only paid $12 for all these games, I've basically saved $115.93. That's pretty good money. Now, I will say that it is not as much value as we had in the previous month's bundle, but considering that one was $170 some dollars, I think there's about a $50 value difference in them. Keep in mind that this is still over $100 value on these games. So, as far as price goes and value-wise, this bundle is still a success. You could buy these games individually, but like I said, you would spend $127.93 to acquire all of them. On the quality front, let's just step through each game, and I'll give you the quality rating that I gave it, and tell you why I gave it that. And discuss my like, dislike, and why I gave it that. So let's start with the first one, Rocket League. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on quality. Reason being that the game is well polished. In the times that I have played the game, I haven't had any issues with figuring out the controls, with actually playing the game. No real issues as far as just being able to sit down and enjoy a gaming session on this game. So the game is really well polished. As far as why I like it, the game is fun. This is the type of game that you sit down with 2 or 3 friends, or up to like 6 or 7, 8, whatever. And whether you suck at it, I'm sorry, I suck at this game right now. But I have yet to sit down and not enjoy playing the game. So it is a very easy to like game, easy to get into. And this one is one that I would highly recommend if you don't pick up the bundle. If you don't pick the bundle up for it, pick it up individually. This game is worth the $20 price tag by itself. The next game is The Forest. I gave it a 3 out of 5 as far as quality goes. The reason for this is currently it is an early access game. It's been in early access for almost 2 years now, and there are still a lot of bugs. Just for an example, I know for a fact a couple of my friends built a houseboat that is an item in the game, but it's just what it sounds like. It's a house that's a boat. After paddling it around the water for a little while, they somehow managed to get it to go onto land, paddle around our camp, and paddle it off a cliff where it decided to float in midair. So they were just paddling around in midair. I don't know what kind of houseboats you guys are used to. That's not the behavior of a houseboat that I know of. So, there's still some bugs like that. I still can't get the rabbit traps to work correctly. I know some people have been able to get them to work. So far, that has been my biggest annoyance with the game, is not being able to catch stupid rabbits. But, that may just be my fault. The other bugs that I've seen come from being able to get back to your body. So, one time, I died on a ledge, and basically to get back to my body, basically required me to jump off the ledge again to get my items back. That, I don't think, should be part of the game. I'm pretty sure that when you die on a ledge, your items should be at the bottom of that ledge to where they're easily gotten back if you get back to that area. So, there are still some bugs and still some quality things working, and there are several things not currently implemented in the game. The end goal of the game is to find your son Timmy. By all accounts that I've heard of, that is not in the game yet. So with 2 years under its belt, now don't get me wrong, it is still being worked on. So, I mean, I think they're turning around fixes and new content. Well, I guess not new content, but enabling more content about every week to 2 weeks or so. So you're getting some kind of bug fixes or something every 2 weeks about. So they're still working on it, but, just that's why I gave it the lower quality rating. I liked the game myself. I'll be honest, when I picked the bundle up, I did not expect to like this game. Instead, I jumped into it with some friends, and we have put several hours into this game, and it has been just fun from the start of it. So, definitely would say, if you have a few friends and you like the survival horror sandbox type of game, this game's pretty good. Is it worth picking up outside the bundle? On that one, I'm not really sure. Like I said, the game still has a long way to go, and it may never get there. It's an early access title, so who knows? It could dry up here, in a week or so. Who knows? Or it could go all the way to finish. You take that risk. So that one, I'm sorry. You guys will have to take my word for it. Take the information I've given you and do a little bit of research on your own. Decide if it's worth picking up outside of the bundle by itself. The next one is Planetary Annihilation Titans. This game, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it was really well polished. There weren't really any issues that I found from playing the game. All the mechanics worked like you thought they should for an RTS. There really wasn't any bugs or issues that I ran into while playing the game. Now, as far as this is the first game of the set that I disliked. The reason I disliked this was that I just got bored, to be perfectly honest with you. I was playing it and I noticed that basically I followed the same strategy every game. Build a nuke the opponent, bring in a Titan, win game. Personally to me, a strategy game should have strategy in it. If all you can do is just rush a certain item or a certain object or certain unit and win the game every time, no matter what, that to me does not seem entertaining. So that's why I dislike this one. And it does center more around the actions per minute type of RTS, kind of like StarCraft. And I do like StarCraft. I can't play the multiplayer of StarCraft for crap because I get demolished. So this one kind of falls under that category. If you like that kind of multiplayer like StarCraft, this one may be worth giving it a shot. As far as picking it up outside of the bundle, with a $40 price tag, I would wait for it to drop, to be honest. That would be my personal opinion. The fourth game we got is Dungeon of the Endless. I gave it a 4 out of 5 quality rating. Mostly because, well, I guess I should say, why didn't I give it a 5 out of 5? Well, the reason I didn't give it a 5 out of 5 was that trying to understand how the game works and how to get through it is hard. The game is hard itself. It's not something that you can just pick up and in 10 minutes you've got it mastered. But the main thing that dinged the quality for me was that it really felt like the entire time it was a game that if you didn't have the maximum number of players per map, which I think it's 4, that you just couldn't win. Like, if you won, you were just going to get lucky and the randomly generated map was just going to be a certain way, or you were just going to get lucky and get the crystal there before anything got to you. So, I don't like games that are going to force me to have X number of players in order to even stand a shot of playing it. Like, I think that's something that should be upfront. It shouldn't be optional. I don't like that type of game. So, that kind of dinged it for me. And that kind of goes into why I disliked it. Because most of the time when I tried it, there was only 2 of us. And we got decently far in the levels. I mean, well, we still didn't get halfway. I'd say we got just under halfway through one of the ships. I think there's like 13 or 14 levels. And I'd say we got almost halfway through that. We still were struggling to just even finish it. And there were, like, when we finally lost, it was because the game became unwinnable. Like, there was just no way to win said game. So, I don't really like that type of game. I think there should always be a way for the player to win. When you set the mechanics up to where there can be an unwinnable state, that kind of bums me out a little bit. The next one is Steredenn. Sorry, I know I've butchered that the whole video, and I've apologized each time, but that's the best way I know to pronounce it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on the quality because I did have some issues trying to exit the game when I first loaded it up. I couldn't go back and recreate those issues after I got the graphics set up correctly. So I don't know if that was an issue with the graphics options or what was going on. But because of that, I dinged it down from a 5 out of 5 because it felt like a bug to me. And I don't think a game should be released with bugs. So I did like the game, however. If nothing else, just for the kick-ass soundtrack. Like, it really gets you pumped up for a side-scrolling shooter. The bosses were... they were entertainingly named. And the fights... I mean, like, the mobs you ran into, they were entertaining. And most importantly, the weapons that you could pick up, the variety of weapons, how they interacted, what they did differently from each other, was just a joy. I really enjoyed how much variety there was in this game. Next, we have Wasted. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I don't know that the game was really well polished for me. The graphics were that cartoony kind of feel, and sometimes that can be pulled off. This time, it just didn't feel right to me for some reason. It felt like one of those games that you have to be drunk in order to actually really enjoy the game. Which maybe that's why it's called Wasted. I don't know. I also did not like the fact that it kind of ripped off Fallout. And I guess I'm getting more into why I dislike it now as opposed to the quality. But it is basically a cartoony, let's make fun of the way Fallout works game. And I personally really enjoy the Fallout series. I have since the very first Fallout. But the way this game ran, it just did not seem like... I just didn't enjoy it. The cartoony feel made combat very hard to keep up with. I mean, it just... Like, there was a dog that ran at me at one point, and trying to turn around to hit it was just hard because the cartoon graphics kind of made it hard to keep track of multiple enemies going on and actually hit them. If that's a bug in the game, maybe, I don't know. But I didn't really care much for that one. The next one we got is Keep Talking and No One Explodes. This one I gave a 5 out of 5 because I never ran into any issues with it. It is really well set up for the game that it wants to be. It doesn't require both players to have a copy of the game, so it's not like buy a copy and, oh crap, I have to go talk to my friend and spend another $15 because I don't have anybody to play this with. The fact that they design the game to require multiple players, but set it up in such a way that you only need one copy of the game, that puts just the finish on the game for me. The actual playing of the game, I never ran into any problems. The manual and the game, most of the time, well, I never ran into an instance that didn't, so I guess I should say all the time, matched up really well. So the game itself, really well polished. Why did I like this game? It's actually very stressful in certain ways. When I first initially tried this, I was the one on the bomb. The other player was on the manual. And I didn't think the bomb was that stressful, but it was fun. Then when I took over the manual and let the other player have the bomb, the manual is insanely stressful. Trying to figure out what the other person is saying and how that matched up to the manual, what they got to do, it is stressful. But it is fun. It's fun to hear how people describe things to each other when they can't actually see it. So, it's fun. This is one of those that I would highly recommend. If you just have one other person you like to play with pretty often, pick this game up by itself. $15.99, this game is worth that. It's worth it. It's worth every penny of that. The last one is the humble original for the month, Catgirl Without Salad. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on the quality because the game itself, I didn't really encounter bugs, but trying to figure out what the weapons do in the game was not very intuitive. Like, you would get some weapons, and I know there were several times when I was playing that I had no clue what the weapons did, and I just had to dodge enemies, hoping that, the weapon would automatically, do something. Because I have no clue. And I don't think that's really good for a side-scrolling shooter to have, like, if it's not intuitive what your weapons do, like what range they have to be activated at, what they actually, are they AoE, do they shoot continuous streams, do they spread out, what do they actually do, and how do you make them work, should be intuitive. I did not feel like this was intuitive at all. As far as disliking it, this game got on my nerves. The humor in it is not the type of humor that I like, so it just annoyed me. The ditzy pop star thing. Honestly, I heard a comment by a friend that I had over here, and the comment was that this game was more for a 12-year-old girl than anything. So maybe that's why I don't enjoy it. I would say it's one of those, like, it's just one of those I don't enjoy. But it is the Humble original, so, you take it for what it is. It's a game that they didn't think could be polished enough to be sold, so, you take that for what it is. So overall, out of a possible, 40 points, this bundle, as far as quality goes, I gave it 31 points. So that's still pretty good for the bundle. I liked 4 of the games, disliked 4 of them. That, to me, still makes the bundle well worth it, considering it's $12. So as long as you got one game in here that was worth, say $12, and you liked it, you got your money's worth. Anything on top of that was just pure value. So for this one, I would say I got my money's worth and then some. So fellas, that's going to wrap up everything for this review. I'm going to leave a link to the previous month's review, and I'll try to leave one to the next month's. As soon as I get that video out, I'll put it up. If you guys have any comments about how you would rather see these videos done, anything you'd like to see me do differently, or just a different game you'd like me to cover, feel free to leave a comment down below. Or if you just want to say hi, feel free to leave a comment. And like I said, I'll try to get the new one out as soon as I can. I gotta wait till the games drop, so, can only do one a month. What can I say? This has been Balae with DFG Gaming. Hope y'all have a good